watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry. Thanks for joining us on 8th Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, October 1st, the somber 7-year anniversary of 1 October here in Nevada, and on a brighter note, the 100th birthday of former President Jimmy Carter. More on that later in our newscast, but first in our top story, a 2-vehicle crash occurs earlier today, leaving one person with a bloody nose.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
On Tuesday, October 1st, just before 12 o'clock, a 2-vehicle accident occurred at the intersection of Pahrump Valley Boulevard and Bourbon Street. According to sources, a white Ford Ranger was heading northbound on Pahrump Valley and attempted to come to a stop and make a left-hand turn into Bourbon Street when it was rear-ended by a Dodge Ram truck. The impact of the crash caused significant damage to the rear end of the Ford Ranger. One driver sustained a bloody nose but denied medical attention. The Nye County Sheriff's Office and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were on scene.
And the Nye County Sheriff's Office travels to Round Mountain following reports of an illegal marijuana grow operation.
On August 30th at approximately 3:30 p.m., Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies located an illegal marijuana growing operation in a remote area of Round Mountain in northern Nye County. Several deputies responded to assist from Pahrump and were able to eradicate approximately 2,000 illegal marijuana plants from various growing stages. NCSO also located various chemicals used in the growing process, some of which may be illegal for use in the United States. Assistance was requested from Tonopah Volunteer Fire Department and the Round Mountain Volunteer Fire Department for lighting during the cutting process for disposal of these plants and chemicals. 4 individuals fled at the time of the scene where they were found, and they were not captured. While on scene, the property owner was contacted and interviewed and will be charged with felony charges. News 25 will have more on this story later this week on our newscast.
And please be careful on the roadways out there. We have another accident to tell you about. This one sends a vehicle crashing into a stop sign.
On Tuesday, August 1st at around 11 a.m., a 2-vehicle crash occurred at the intersection of Homestead Road and Dandelion Street. According to witnesses, a brown sedan traveling northbound on Homestead attempted to make a left-hand turn into Dandelion and failed to yield to the right-of-way of traffic. The sedan was struck on its right side by a minivan traveling northbound on Homestead. The impact of the collision then spun the sedan around into the stop sign located at the intersection. Fortunately, there were no injuries reported, but both vehicles did sustain major damage. The Nye County Sheriff's Office as well as Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were on scene, and the southbound lane of Homestead was temporarily closed and diverted around the scene during the investigation.
And our 37th president, Jimmy Carter, is celebrating his 100th birthday today.
James Earl Carter, born October 1st, 1924, an American politician and humanitarian who served as the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. A member of the Democratic Party, he was the 76th Governor of Georgia from 1971 to 1975, and a Georgia State Senator from 1963 to 1967. Carter is the longest-lived president in U.S. history and the first to live to 100 years of age. After leaving the presidency, Carter established the Carter Center to promote and expand human rights. In 2002, he received a Nobel Peace Prize for related work. He traveled extensively to conduct peace negotiations, monitor elections, and further the eradication of infectious diseases. Carter is a key figure in the nonprofit housing organization Habitat for Humanity. Happy birthday, President Jimmy Carter.
In more local news, Remote Area Medical, also known as RAM, is hosting a free healthcare clinic in Pahrump this weekend.
Remote Area Medical will return to Pahrump this weekend, offering free healthcare services to those in need. This marks the 9th consecutive year Remote Area Medical has provided medical, dental, and vision care in the area. Founded by the late Stan Brock nearly 40 years ago, Remote Area Medical's mission is to prevent pain and alleviate suffering by providing free, quality healthcare to those in need. The upcoming clinic is open to anyone struggling to access or afford these essential services. The free Remote Area Medical Clinic will offer a variety of services including dental cleanings, fillings, extractions, dental x-rays, eye exams, eyeglass prescriptions, and general medical examinations. Importantly, no identification is required and services will be provided on a first-come, first-served basis. The clinic will take place on Saturday and Sunday, October 5th and 6th, at the Pathways building on the Pahrump Valley High School campus, located at 501 East Calabata Boulevard. The parking lot will open at 12:01 a.m. on October 5th, with attendees encouraged to line up along Mount Charleston for entry. The clinic will begin serving patients around 6 a.m. each day. Patients are advised to bring their own food, water, medications, and clothing if arriving early, as bathrooms will be available on site. Remote Area Medical relies heavily on the dedication of volunteers to deliver its services. While the Pahrump community has a solid volunteer base, additional help is always welcome. Ryan Muccia, president of the Nye Counties Coalition and member of the Remote Area Medical Community Host Group, noted that more optometrists are needed for Saturday, although the clinic has a strong lineup for Sunday. Those interested in volunteering, whether as medical professionals or general support, can sign up at ramusa.org. This free clinic presents a valuable opportunity for residents facing healthcare access challenges.
And don't grab that remote. We are reporting on local, national, and international news, such as the ongoing tensions in the Middle East and the vice presidential debate that is coming up today at 6 p.m. local time. All that and more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Turning now to international news. Iran launches nearly 200 missiles at Israel, and Israel is now officially announcing that anyone who attacks them will face severe consequences. News 25 has more.
Iran has launched at least 180 missiles into Israel on Tuesday, October 1st, escalating tensions in the region amid ongoing conflicts involving Hezbollah and Hamas. The U.S. and Israel have warned Iran of serious consequences if it initiated such actions. The missile strikes were described by Iran as retaliation for the death of key figures, including Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed in an Israel airstrike last week. Iran's UN mission warned of a crushing response if Israel retaliates, calling the missile launch a legitimate act of defense. The Israeli Defense Forces reported air raid sirens across Israel, with civilians seeking shelter during the attack. A spokesperson for the Israeli defense, Daniel Hagari, spoke earlier today to brief the public.
Iran's attack is a severe and dangerous escalation. There will be consequences. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are at the highest levels of readiness. Our operational plans are ready. We will respond wherever, whenever, and however we choose.
President Biden and Vice President Harris are monitoring the situation from the White House, with U.S. Navy destroyers reportedly assisting with the interception of some of the missiles. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan spoke during the White House press briefing today.
We are still working with the IDF and the authorities in Israel to assess the impact of the attack. But at this time, and I stress at this time, we do not know of any deaths in Israel. We are tracking the reported death of a Palestinian civilian in Jericho in the West Bank.
In response, Israel has warned civilians in southern Lebanon to evacuate and has launched targeted ground raids against Hezbollah. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says this must stop. We absolutely need a ceasefire.
And turning back locally, the Nevada National Army Guard just wrapped up an exciting international mission. Las Vegas 25 news correspondent Maria Centers joins us now with more.
Maintaining a dual federal and state mission, the Nevada Army National Guard recently executed Exercise Cartwheel 2024 with the Republic of Fiji military forces on the islands. Over 400 multinational soldiers took part in the intensive military-to-military trainings that prepared troops for crises and contingencies while promoting regional peace and stability. Let's take an inside look.
Building relations and proficiency with the other nations. So we're standing right now, we just completed a combined arms live fire breach with the French infantry and an engineer squad from Switzerland Engineer Company. So what we're doing is we're just conducting exercises with the other nations, developing TTPs, relationships, and rehearsing movements to and from locations like Fiji.
7 nations participated, including the US, Fiji, Tonga, Australia, New Zealand, France, and the UK.
We need experts in these austere environments that we don't operate in on a day-to-day basis. Us as National Guard soldiers, we have desert and forest and snow. Not as much a jungle or rainy environment, but it really will take the locals and those foreign militaries who are experts in those environments and those cultures to be able to lend a hand to the U.S. and say, this is how you do it. This is how you're going to succeed here.
The U.S. exercise boosted combat readiness and reinforced within the Indo-Pacific region.
What makes us successful is being able to establish that rapport with the other NCOs and officers that are out executing these lanes, from the American Engineer Unit here, the Republic of Fiji Military Force, and French and the Australians in establishing that common operating, how we do things. The Fijians working with us, and from the Australians, it's kind of the same and universal, so we can still talk the same language when it comes to warfighting.
Rappelling and live fire exercises were spearheaded by the Nevada National Guard.
We don't have any training in Fiji based on rappelling. We don't have any schools that teach us rappelling. Most of us, it's the first time. We learn from them, they learn from us, and it's a combination.
As we know, there's possible threats in the Pacific, and this is crucial to continue to build and strengthen relationships for possible threats in the future. And not only that, we now know from this exercise how to get troops, equipment, and explosives from Reno, Nevada to Fiji.
On behalf of everyone here at KPVM Television, thank you so much for your service. I'm Maria Centers with News 25 Las Vegas.
And Valley Electric Association is celebrating one of my favorite months, October, because it's National Co-op Month. VEA is taking the opportunity to raise awareness of a trusted, proven way to do business and build resilient, inclusive communities.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
What does community mean to you? To us, it means powering the lives of the members we serve. But it's more than providing energy. In a community, neighbors look out for each other, and that's what we aim to do for you, because we're led by you, the members we serve, not by outside investors who are only looking to make a profit. This means we'll choose you and our community's best interest every time. For us, the power of community comes from the people who live here. That includes our employees and board members who live right here in our community. You'll see them at ball games, fall festival, and other local events. Whether we're investing in tomorrow's leaders through our youth programs and scholarships, helping you save energy at home, or volunteering to improve the lives of our neighbors, we're working hard to make this a better place to live and work. Valley Electric was created by the community for the community, and there's no place we would rather be. We love what we do because of members like you.
Celebrating Co-op Month. Proud to be built by our members, proud to be led by our members, proud to be shaped by our members.
The very latest from the presidential and vice presidential campaign trail when we return.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Turning now to news from the campaign trail, the vice presidential picks are facing off tonight in their first and only debate. Current Vice President Kamala Harris's VP pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, is facing off against former President Donald Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, Ohio Senator. And their debate is in New York. They will not have a live audience, but will not have mics muted unless necessary. The debate kicks off at 6 p.m. local time on CBS. And in other election news, locally, people in Nevada have begun receiving their mail-in ballots. However, some are noticing that their voter ID on this ballot does not match their voter ID on their voter registration on the State of Nevada website. There are also signature update forms for the voter registration cards that are mailed out. So News 25 reached out to the Nye County Clerk's Office as well as the Secretary of State to investigate.
According to the Nye County Clerk's Office, a law was passed in 2021 called the Assembly Bill 422, which requires the Secretary of State to create a centralized database that collects and stores voter pre-registration and registration information from all counties. Under the new system, all counties of the state will be connected together, providing a real-time check and balance. If someone checks in to vote in person at a polling location, but they have already voted by mail, the new system will flag it, providing a live status of every voter across the state. The signature update form, which is also being mailed out with the voter ballot, has been mailed out to residents in an effort to prevent mishandling, but requests nearly all secure forms of verification from a person, including the last four of their social security number and or license number, as well as their signature. All information which would then be handled through the mail. Another option that is available to the public is to bring the update form to the clerk's office to be filed. News 25 has also reached out to the Secretary of State to find out why the new registration numbers have not been updated on their government website, but have yet to hear back.
Now for a look at sports news, the Las Vegas Aces are currently in Game 2 against the New York Liberty. And right now, the Aces are unfortunately trailing, but there's plenty of time to catch up and try to win Game 2 out of 5. Here's more with Mikey Ruhan.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The Las Vegas Aces are in action against the New York Liberty right now. That game is in progress. It's Game 2 of the semifinals in the WNBA playoffs. We'll keep you posted. 17-time MLB All-Star Pete Rose, who topped the league's all-time hit list, 4,256 over 24-season career, and was later banned for gambling, died yesterday at the age of 83. Rose primarily played for the Cincinnati Reds and was a three-time World Series champion, holds the Major League record for games played with 3,562, plate appearances 15,890, as well as the National League record for the longest hitting streak, 44 games. Rose became ineligible in 1989 for gambling on the sport, including on Reds games, while he was the team's longest player-manager. He admitted to betting on baseball in 2004. The MLB postseason kicked off today with some wild card matchups. Tigers and Astros, Royals and Orioles, Mets against the Brewers, and the Braves against the Padres. Las Vegas Raiders will face the Denver Broncos in Denver this Sunday. Pahrump Valley Trojan girls soccer, JV and varsity are at Moapa Valley High School this evening. JV is in progress, varsity at 6 p.m. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take our first look of October. Gorgeous October day, only a few scattered clouds. Those temperatures are still up there, not quite fall-like. We'll take a closer look in weather after the break.
Hi, I'm Ava Parducci back in the Channel 25 weather studio with a look at your forecast. Fernley had a high of 88 today, Fallon at 88, Carson City at 90, Tonopah at 85, Goldfield at 88, Beatty at 100, Amargosa at 105, Death Valley at 114, and Las Vegas at 103. Today in Pahrump, it's currently 101 degrees. There was a high of 104, wind in the west-northwest at 8, humidity at 8%, and the sun rose this morning at 6:39 a.m. You can expect the sun to set tonight at 6:26 p.m. with humidity at 16%, wind in the east-northeast at 6, and a low of 67 tonight with clear skies. Let's look at the forecast for the week. Wednesday, you can expect a high of 103, Thursday 102 with winds in the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour, Friday 100 with 9 mile per hour winds, Saturday and Sunday both 100, going into next week Monday at 99 and Tuesday at 97 with wind going 8 miles per hour. And that is your forecast.
Thanks so much. And everyone, please stay careful out there, and in honor of 1 October, please hug all loved ones and survivors that you know who were at that event 7 years ago. And again, happy birthday to former President Jimmy Carter, and our thoughts, love, and prayer to everyone affected in Israel during these recent strikes. That does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry, and from everyone here at KPVM, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.